Two Alzheimer's drugs that were heralded as a major breakthrough have been branded as unlikely to benefit patients by an influential review of existing studies. Researchers at the Cochrane collaboration said the impact of the treatment was well below what was needed to make a difference to dementia patients' lives. Their report has provoked a backlash, though, with some scientists labelling it fundamentally flawed. Let's get more on all of this with our health and science correspondent, James Gallagher. Hi, James. So first of all, remind us about these drugs, because there was a huge amount of expectation and hope around them when they were announced.
Yeah, and this study doesn't completely destroy all of that hope that was there. So these drugs, they target something in the brain called amyloid, and it's like the sticky, gungy protein, and it builds up in between brain cells. And it's one of the key characteristics of Alzheimer's disease patients. You see it in patients with Alzheimer's disease. And what these drugs do is they stick to the protein and they attract the immune system to come along, and it clears that sticky, gungy protein out of people with Alzheimer's disease. And when those two drug trials that you mentioned, they were the first time ever at all that a drug had been shown to slow the pace of Alzheimer's disease. What has ensued since then is a huge argument about how relevant the amount of slowing is actually to patients' lives.
Yeah, because they cost a huge amount.
Yeah, so in the United Kingdom, the NHS has decided that it can't afford to pay for them. You can go privately. An 18-month course is £90,000. So we're not talking about a 20p packet of paracetamol or spending £100 a month or something on weight loss drugs. This is a phenomenal amount of money. And in order for something like the NHS to fund it, you have to get, in exchange for a phenomenal cost, you have to have a phenomenal benefit. And the argument has always been that actually the benefit is too small.
So where does this leave people suffering with dementia, with Alzheimer's at the moment and in the future?
Well, the authors of this report, they would argue that they've looked not just at these two drugs, they've looked at 17 different trials, all looking at different ways of clearing this gungy amyloid from the brain of people with Alzheimer's disease. And overall, they conclude that the benefit you get from it is trivial almost. It's not reaching the level needed to make a meaningful difference to patients' lives. Now, that is contested, as you mentioned right at the beginning. Some scientists really disagree with that conclusion. But the argument from the authors today is that we need to look for different ways of treating Alzheimer's disease. There are other things that go wrong in the brain during Alzheimer's disease, and maybe those are a better approach than this one.
OK, James, thank you.